Hey, what's up, guys? I'm Alex Blonsky. I'm your host today. We had a late start on the stream because my internet basically went down for a large part of this morning. But we're back with some exciting content today. I am joined by Christiaan Bakker, who is our lead developer on Day of Infamy. Welcome to the show, Christiaan.
Hello, it's me again.
And yeah, we're hoping to go through some of the changes that happened today with Day of Infamy. We're gonna show off. I think we might show off the trailer for the game again if you haven't seen it already, and go through some of the features. And Christiaan can answer some of your questions that he's more equipped to answer than I am, especially your technical related questions. But I think we're going to start off with the trailer, so I'm just going to load that up for you right now. All right. Yeah, and so you guys can see that worked pretty hard on the trailer. Christiaan, you had a large hand in working on the trailer. How was it doing all the cutting and that sort of thing for the first time?
Oh, a bunch of work. It's not my first time working on a video, but it was a lot of pushing and pulling when it comes to getting the right shots for things.
Yep.
And then also the music, of course. That was easier. I kind of used that to storyboard the thing.
Yep.
But yeah, it's pretty cool. So
I know that yeah, we have a lot of changes that went into today's update, and probably the biggest of which was the new map, the Flak Tower map, Flactrum. Can you tell me anything about like the inspiration for the map?
Well, it was just inspired by those towers, pretty much. That's the gist of it. But yeah, it's like the whole sort of. Hold on, I gotta think about it again, because I mean I talked about it before, but then it's like, oh, what was the specific thing again? Because it's we were kind of looking for a more unique sort of map that was different from our other maps, and I had been looking for something to latch onto for a while, and then at some point I saw some people talking about the Flak Towers and all that.
Yep.
In one of our community discords, and I felt like it was a pretty interesting idea, so did some research, and eventually got other people excited about the idea, and that's how it started. And now we have a map with a ton of vertical gameplay, and I see you're loading up Stronghold.
Yep.
Which is the one that doesn't work that well right now.
Well, yeah, I'm not going to play through, but I just wanted to show off the map while we're talking about it. But
cool.
Yeah, like some of the unique things of the map, I guess, are that it is an indoor map and that it requires different tactics than what one would normally have on one of our traditional maps, which is very large open areas and that sort of thing. And this one is a very enclosed map. So how do you think that players are going to attack this map? Are they going to use like the side areas, or do you think they're going to try to charge up the middle stairwell?
I think it's going to vary a lot per player. Like from what I've seen so far, a lot of people, some people just go for the big doors and then bump into the blast doors and aren't really sure how to deal with them.
Right.
And then there are other people that find the second floor and find the open door because not everyone, especially the bots, don't really know how to open and close doors. So there's usually an open door on the second floor that people use.
Yeah.
But other people will probably catch on to the fact that you can blow up the doors, and then they will start using their high explosives to blow it up, which could be TNT or Panzerfaust or any of the engineers' weapons can blow it up, which is also why the map has an extra slot for engineers to give people the opportunity to blast open the doors more quickly.
Yeah.
But yeah, so when it comes to approaching the tower itself, I think those are sort of the three main methods that people will use. And then there will be the fourth one, which is the person just walking in circles, having no idea where to go.
I think that's going to happen a lot just because of its, especially its circular nature. When you get to like those kind of outside that middle stairwell kind of flanking positions when you go through those blast doors, it'll take a little bit to get used to that because each floor is basically a round circle, but it has kind of a unique lighting concept and that sort of thing as well.
I've even seen people that just stay inside the center column and they don't really dare to branch out for some reason. So that's also kind of interesting to see, like the different behaviors or interpretations people have of the map.
Yeah.
And a lot of it, of course, is because people are still very new to it, so they don't trust the map yet. And it's a map that is kind of mazy. Like we try to get rid of as much of that as possible and make it clear, have signs and text all over the place and arrows, but still there are going to be plenty of people that will need some time to get used to it.
Yeah, I mean, it's very different. I think that you're going to have like a lot more coordination on this map specifically because there are so many choke points, right? Like we're used to these outdoor choke points that are basically like corridors, but this one you're actually going to have to figure out which way you're going to push through. Are you going to go up the stairwell? Which are you going to blow open the door and take like a flanking route on one of these side passages? And you're going to have to figure out which way you're pushing through, and if you're on the defending team, which one of these choke points are you going to defend the most heavily, because you know that their team is going to be pushing through one of them.
Yeah, it's a very dynamic environment as well because of the doors, but also because it's the sort of cylindrical shape of the tower allows you to loop around in certain areas like the ammo storage. So if your butt is not up to the wall, then there's a chance you will get shot in the back if you're not careful.
Right.
And so there's a lot of that too, where you have to look two ways. It can get pretty stressful, but I personally really like that we have a map that jumps out like that.
Mm-hmm.
It helps add a kind of variation to the game that you don't get from all the other maps, so it really has something unique to offer. And sure, it will not be a fan favorite of everyone. It will certainly be polarizing, but still it's got its own special thing going on there, and that's also important, I think.
Yeah, and I think you told me this is our first actually like non-community a night map as well, correct?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So it also has a kind of a different atmosphere than we're used to. We've released a lot of well, I guess Dunkirk wasn't as much, but there's been like a lot of, I remember Breville was a very bright, sunshiny map, and this one is kind of dark, and the interior is dark, and you have to make sure that you have your lighting settings correct. I know I had to change mine a little bit just to make sure that I could see properly which side was which when I was doing the beta testing for the map.
Got to calibrate those monitors.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but yeah. So like beyond the map itself, one of the other things that got added was droppable ammo packs. Can you tell me how those work?
Yeah, so the plannable object system and the ammo satchels that come with it in this update are part of a new system that involves another new mechanic called quick selecting. And the quick select system can be used to plant these ammo satchels on the floor. And currently it is limited to just the support class, and that's intentional because we do not want to give everyone the option to do it. But the support class can use the quick select mechanic to put down ammo pouches, and that is done by holding down the G key and then letting go once the whole timer fills up, which you can see on the HUD.
Right.
And yeah, you've got the inventory screen right in front of you, so you can see that it's right there.
Yeah. And I guess the good part about adding this, especially in this patch, is that the officer and radio man mechanic doesn't work as well for dropping ammo inside of an enclosed environment. So getting ammo replenishment inside of this new map can really only come from the support class dropping ammo satchels. So it becomes a lot more important on an indoor map, I think, than it would on an outdoor, where there's a lot more places that you can drop support and kind of set up camp for your team.
Yeah, no, certainly. With the supply crates and all that, they don't fit, so you need something else to put down, and the ammo satchels are perfect for it. Although they don't give you a full resupply, they only give you about 10 rounds or one mag, depending on the size of your magazine.
Yeah.
So it isn't a case where you can just... and it's like single use, so when it's put down and someone uses it, it's gone. So it's not like a supply crate that sticks around for a long time. And that's also to keep it balanced so that people cannot just abuse it and put them everywhere. And yeah, so it's got its own kind of unique role as well. And the other idea is that it can also be used to support machine gunners that are set up in windowsills and all that, and then they at some point run out of ammo, and you need someone to be by your side and give you some ammo, or else you have to run all the way back to either a crate or something else. And that's where the support class can also come in and drop a pouch for their machine gunners, and then they can keep going. And yeah, so it's a multi-purpose tool, and over time we'll of course balance it, because this is just the first iteration, and there probably are some minor issues with it here and there when it comes to the placement. So yeah.
Well, we can try it out and get some feedback from the community and see how it works out, and fix it in the future if it needs some fixing. But I guess the other big thing I wanted to talk to you about was the move to 64-bit and what that means. I tried to explain it in layman's terms last week, but can you tell me the difference in what it means for any program to update from 32-bit to 64?
Well, the answer is memory. So yeah. The problem with 32-bit applications on most systems is that they can generally only access 2 gigabytes of RAM, and if they try to access more than that, well, they can't do that. Their memory addresses basically don't reach that far, so what you get is a game crashes because they run out of memory. And going to 64-bit means that We've been bumping into this memory ceiling for quite a while with Day of Infamy. Even around release time, we had a lot of trouble. We spent a lot of time trying to keep the file size of all our files small enough.
Right.
And moving to 64-bit pretty much means more stability. So we increase the stability of the game when it comes to memory-related crashes and issues. And this is especially useful for people that have mods installed and like to install a ton of mods with big textures.
Right.
And now they technically should only be limited by their video RAM instead of just the 2 gigabyte game application RAM limit that is in place for 32-bit applications.
Right.
But yeah, it is a very big move, a big change. So there still are edge cases that we're trying to figure out relating to crashes. Currently, there's a big crash happening on Macintosh or Mac OS computers, and we're looking into that. We're investigating the issue right now, and hopefully we can get that fixed soon. But yeah, in some cases, what you get is well, you call them truncated pointers, which is programmer term for you're basically just chopping off the number, and then it looks in the wrong place. And that's something that happens in a lot of cases. But we got most of those ironed out. Like, pretty much all the crashes we're having now on Mac seem to be related to how it's trying to load files and other system files. And that has a lot to do with the different setups of the new OS. They have a new version that came out, and so there's like a lot of stuff going on there that we're trying to resolve, because initially it worked fine on like our systems, but then it breaks again, and then we fix it again, and now it broke again, and it's a maze. It's just like the tower. It's like, oh, so much chaos, like killing me.
And for those, I know I got this question a few times since we announced we're going to 64-bit, but there's nothing anybody has to do to load up 64-bit, right? You just go into the game and you see at the bottom of the screen, like, it'll show the update version, and it should say x64 at the end of it, correct?
Yeah, on the systems that support it, which is the majority of computers nowadays, it should do it automatically. The exe is picked automatically by our launcher program, and then at the bottom of the menu you can see it say x64 for the 64-bit builds. On the 32-bit ones, I believe it says x86.
Okay.
So because that's the old infrastructure, and yeah, as it gets more stable, we will probably see if it it's not decided on yet if we will go 100% 64-bit, like not having the 32-bit exes anymore and other executables. But for now, it's all like that. We've got both going on. But yeah, so for the people that have issues with it, they can see if the 32-bit exe or executable still works for them. But that means the game launches without BetterLie, so it's not that useful for online.
No, definitely not. So beyond those like big three features, were there any other bug fixes or features added that hardcore fans would care about?
Well, I can look at the patch list that we wrote.
I know.
Which I also put items.
Yeah, Chad is talking about the feature merge cooperative playlist to avoid spreading players across numerous campaign servers during low population hours. So.
Yes, the removal of the campaign rule sets, or at least on official servers. So that there are multiple reasons for it, but it's one of the main reasons is to kind of balance out the player populations, because with the co-op servers, in a lot of cases we noticed that some campaigns got more attention than others, and for us as a company it's useful to merge that kind of stuff, because it means you have to run less servers in the end, and that's cheaper. But also it was, in a lot of cases, you ended up with people playing on certain campaign servers where there were no other people around, but they were playing on another server. And so by making them all play on the the same servers, we solve the problem of the low population counts on the co-op servers. And another factor is that the campaigns often allowed certain factions to play in certain scenarios. Like it wouldn't give you access to all the maps, so you would end up with just a limited set of maps, and people would not get to vote for the other ones because those are outside of the theater of that group, and that kind of limits what you can vote for. And yeah, so that was also one of the reasons.
Right.
But yeah, it was like a whole bunch of stuff, and then at some point we just made the call and went, let's merge them together and bring them back to kind of the yeah, I think Insurgency originally also had it set up like this, and yeah, so that's that.
I mean, it eventually has to happen over a period of time if you want to condense those players. Like, it just sucks to be in a co-op game if it's just you playing, or especially with those that are on servers that already have smaller populations that are, like, let's say in Asia or that sort of thing. So merging it together probably helps.
And a lot of people would only end up on the American campaigns because that's the one that's selected by default on the UI.
Yeah.
And they just click play, and then it's oops, there I go. So yeah, it's that they would only get to see the US maps instead of the British ones. But yeah, that's another one.
One of the other ones I see is it is now possible to pick up an extra grenade when you're already carrying a grenade of the same ammo type. You can't pick up more grenades than you can carry, which makes sense. But it's cool that you can do that.
Yeah, it was kind of weird before, where if you found a grenade on the floor but you were already carrying the same type, it would just not do anything, and yet like you were just standing there like, well, what am I supposed to do now? I just want an extra grenade. And but now you can pick it up, and you usually can't pick more up than 3 because that's the limit usually. So, but it's a nice little thing that was a quick fix.
And yeah, we'll be happy to answer any chat questions now if you guys wanna ask anything about the patch, about content, about past content or changes or anything like that. We've got Christiaan Bakker, who's our lead developer on Day of Infamy, and has been working tirelessly today, and probably will over the next day or so to get all these bugs stamped out. But in the meantime, if you guys do see anything that's a bug, where's the best place that they can report it right now? Just the support forum?
Probably the discussion forums and the support tickets, yeah.
Yeah, and for those of you guys that haven't seen our support forum, it's just support.newworldinteractive.com. There's a form there that we can go in and prioritize tickets and follow up and that sort of thing. And always make sure you provide as much information as possible, be it logs or whatever you've got lying around, so that we don't have to ask you to give them to us, because it will help a lot having that from the get-go. Yeah, it just helps to lump these issues together and narrow it down so we can prioritize which ones are affecting the most people, for sure. Let's see, some of the questions. Any tips to further improve 64-bit experience? Any configs, etc. to, say, use 8 gigs or more? I think by default that it should just use the RAM that's in your computer. Up to 30. Is it up to 32 gigs in Windows?
It depends on the Windows you have. One of them goes up to 128 gigs,
okay.
But that's kind of overkill.
Yeah.
For Day of Infamy, you're fine with it with 8 gigs. Like we hit the memory ceiling, but that's the memory ceiling of 2 gigabytes. So we generally bleed into 3 gigs or maybe 4 gigs, and that's about it. So it doesn't need an exorbitant amount of memory to run the game.
Right. Let's see. Will you add any more head models for Asian and African American units? The Indian unit only has 2, and the black units only have 1.
As of right now, there are no plans to do that.
Let's see. I passed 5 stars now, and I have a black bar under my level. What comes next? I guess talking about like future.
No, he's talking about the tours.
Ah, okay.
he let's see, 5 stars and a bar. Well, after the bar, you get more stars. He's probably talking about the bronze ribbon that you get. So there are 36 tour tiers in total, and so you can just keep going until it goes to sort of the platinum one, I believe. I think that is the max one. So there's still a lot of way to go with that. And if you missed out on any units, you will gain them through that. But I doubt this guy is behind on units.
I'm behind on units too. I'm still catching up. Will DEOI see more free content updates in the upcoming year? So I think that this will be our last content update for this year, obviously, because we're so close to the end of the year. But I guess we're hoping to get more out. The thing that might complicate things is our development team is split right now between DOI and Insurgency Sandstorm, and we're just about to open things up to a lot more players who want to play Sandstorm. So I think that we're going to have to evaluate how, at least frequently, we put out content updates. But we're hoping to get more out for you guys, barring time and our development cycles and that sort of thing. Does that sound about right to you, Christian?
Yeah, no, that's kind of the direction it's going for now, where we have to keep in mind that Sandstorm also requires attention, and so it will probably affect the frequency of updates for Day of Infamy.
Yeah, I think the interesting part is right now is a really good opportunity for modders to get in, especially after like the 64-bit changes and that sort of thing, where like, it'd be easier to load up mods. But we plan on constantly featuring the modding and mapping community on this stream and in our social media, and to promote you guys in game. So if there is stuff that you guys are creating, we're going to continue to promote it and feature it. And then if it gets good enough, I mean, it is a possibility down the road that we put it in the game. It's just that always takes more work than just loading that map in, because we want it to have a certain level of polish and art design and that sort of thing. So we've talked about featuring more community maps and mods and that sort of thing in the future as well.
Yeah, and there's a lot of cool stuff out there. And I actually wonder if modders will kind of catch on with the plannable system, because it can do a lot more than just put ammo pouches on the floor. It can technically also give you items, play sounds, even make sort of player execute commands, although that is a bit finicky, but you could technically make people say stuff in console through the mod.
Right.
So there's that, and then it can give you items. I think it can heal you as well, so people could technically mod in med packs if they want to.
Yeah.
And there's also one for giving you fuel, because the ammo satchel itself in the game right now will not give you fuel.
Right. Yeah, and there's a lot of community modders that we actually follow on the team right now, like the Screaming Steel guys, who have a bunch of guys that have actually worked on our games, actually working on it or contributing to it, including like a voiceover artist.
Like modelers, voiceover artists.
Yeah, so we're
stealing our people, man.
Yeah, I know. We keep on every time they send out an update, we constantly are posting it in our Slack channel and commenting on it. And I know Red Winter, we've seen a bunch of stuff out of that as well for anybody that's looking at like the Eastern Front. So there are a lot of cool things in the future, and hopefully we can feature those more prominently.
Yeah. I think like X Model says, with love, community maps were great for TF2, But maybe one thing that some people don't know is that a bunch of the maps in DOI are community maps.
Yeah, a lot now, right?
Well, yeah, a bunch of them that were released after the initial release of the game were a part of the competition, the mapping competition that we ran during early access, I believe.
And almost every map from, what is it, 1st to 5th place made it into the game eventually? Something like that?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Yeah, it was like 1st to 5th or 1st to 6th. I mean, there's a lot of good maps and a lot of good talent that came out of that competition. So I don't know.
The main difference is that, well, we polished them up, of course. We have worked on improving them a bunch and trying to make them fit into our aesthetics. But then the main big change that makes them a bit harder to find, or makes it more difficult to find the connection, is that we update the map names to a new name that fits our formatting, or just in general, just feels more like it's part of our game now, instead of just reusing the community name.
Right.
But yeah, that can confuse some people. But they are community maps. A bunch of them. Let's see. There's Rhineland. There's, well, Brittany. Although Brittany is sort of a personal project. It started. Oh no, wait. No. Brittany is one of the contest maps, I believe, because that was known as Brest.
Yep.
Rhineland was known as Koopstaal. And then, let's see, Breville was the one that was a pet project of Steve Krohn.
Yep, Steve
so
C.
That one is kind of a community map, because it's not a map that was worked on for the game itself, although we did test it a lot during the early access stages of the game. Let's see, well, I'm trying to think of the other ones, but
there's a lot from that period of time. So
yeah, I'm drawing a blank because there's a bunch of them.
Let's see. Will Linux also get 64-bit source engine upgrade? I know that right now we don't have 64-bit support with Linux yet, but we've talked about getting it in. I guess there's just some obstacles, and obviously we wanted to prioritize our most used platforms first.
Well, and it's also like on the development side, when it comes to production, we're still looking into how to best do it, because there's a certain part of our tool chain needs to be updated before. It isn't preventing us from porting into 64-bit, but it does complicate it a lot. So we'd like to fix that up first. But right now it's mainly Mac and Windows, and it's a maybe for Linux later.
Right.
It would be really nice to do, though. Like, we do want to do that.
What was the biggest challenge with the new map?
It goes up.
I mean, I think one of the biggest differences in the changes that I have seen is especially differentiating the floors between them, because when we were about to put out our last content update, and we were still developing this map, we saw, like, I found it incredibly confusing inside, and we had to make all the floors different and provide a bunch of, like, cover areas, especially because it was almost like every floor, if you're outside that interior staircase, everything was almost wide open. There were still staircases, but it was really hard to tell what even floor you were on. So
yeah, especially in the first version, where everything was just gray dev textures everywhere.
Yeah,
and everything looked the same, and there was just a giant maze with not much in it. And we've tried to really kind of make each floor unique. Each one has got their purpose. We also tried to color code the floors with different textures on the walls and the text, of course, but then, before the release, we translated the text into German, so it may be a bit more difficult for the English-speaking audience to figure out what it says on the walls.
Yeah. I wish more people knew about DOI. You guys are doing an amazing job at recreating the Day of Defeat experience. I know that was a pretty big inspiration on on this the mod and the full game. We even included, I believe, our version of one of the maps from Day of Defeat in it as well.
Yeah, a few of the maps are based on some Day of Defeat designs, I believe.
Yeah.
One that I can recall is Salerno, which is based on Avalanche.
I remember playing the hell out of that map like 10, 15 years ago. So.
Well, it got a small visual update in this patch.
Oh, cool.
The Salerno map, not Avalanche.
Yeah.
But yeah, it got a small visual update, and same goes for some other maps. Like Dunkirk got a polish pass. We decorated a bunch of the interiors that were kind of empty. And actually, one thing that forgot to mention is that Brittany got a bunch of gameplay changes, because when it was released during the last update, it was a bit rough on the edges. Like there were issues with spawn camping and calling in support very close to the spawn, which would still kill people if they were close to that area.
Right.
So yeah, we did a lot of balancing and changing. There was a new warehouse area in which people can hide or use as a bypass to get around and flank. But yeah, there were like a bunch of changes made to it, which we tested a bunch as well. And we originally wanted to put it out before this update, but we kept running into some issues with the map, so it got very close to the Flak Tower date, and so we just merged it together.
Yeah, and I can confirm after playing the beta test of that map that it does feel a lot better. And the airstrikes had a lot to do with your success in the first iteration on it. And and now it feels a lot more balanced, and you can actually push through without actually needing the officer radio man mechanic.
Yeah, and there were some nasty sightlines where a sniper could set up in windows and then just shoot into the spawn. So we put some window blinds, like the window doors in front of it.
Right.
And now you can't, so it sucks to be you.
Just scrolling up on questions. Do you think working with the Source engine is a huge challenge? I guess if I were to reword the question, is working with the Source engine a huge challenge today compared to some of the more modern engines and that sort of thing?
I don't know. Like, I personally feel a bit indifferent about it. Like, I think, yes, that there are some elements that are really problematic in a way, but not because it's Source, just because it's an older engine and we do not have the manpower to maintain an older engine like that. Like it's mainly the tools and stuff that fall a bit behind. But when it comes to the engine itself, I personally still kind of like it because it's pretty easy to tinker around with stuff. But yeah, like I don't really have a preference personally when it comes to the engines. But there are other people that are a lot more vocal about switching engines and all that. I guess I'm a bit neutral, so I'm actually a terrible person to ask about it.
Somebody was suggesting an Operation Market Garden map, and I know that one of our community map developers, Mod Tools, I think it was last month, released his own community map for Market Garden. So you should definitely go check that out, or find a server that's running.
Big map.
Yeah.
Big map.
It's pretty cool. I think he's got like mines and stuff on it as well, if I remember correctly.
He does a lot of interesting little things that steer away from what we usually do, and also what other mappers do. Like, he has sort of interesting, unique ideas that it doesn't always work out, but that's what iteration is for.
Let's see. I know we've gotten this submitted to us before, but you guys might want to look at the co-op spawns on the Flak Tower map. Seems like when sometimes spawn right on top of Germans when attacking its allies. Yeah, we're aware of that bug, and we're hoping to fix that.
Right almost at the top of the patch notes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, there's an issue with the how like we ran into this last minute because we were having another issue as well with the spawns in co-op. That there's something weird going on with the objective-based spawns, causing them to be offset by one. So you're spawning one spawn ahead of where you're supposed to spawn.
Right.
And that causes you to end up next to the control point pretty much every time, right next to the enemy. So yeah, it is something that we're looking into. We're trying to fix it as soon as possible. And same goes for the Mac OS problems and some of the navigation problems that the bots have in the tower. We'll be cleaning that stuff up as we go.
Yeah, we were actually trying to hit this specific day for launch, and so there were a couple extra bugs that snuck in. We're hoping to get fixed in the next few days or so. But I think the one thing that we haven't told anybody yet is later today we're actually going to have our biggest sale ever on Day of Infamy. I believe we're going down to 75% off, so it'll be our biggest sale. So anybody that's watching this, let your friends know, and it should be on sale all this weekend.
Link in the video.
Yeah, for sure. We'll throw the link in the video, but yeah, go check out the game this weekend if your friends haven't tried to play it yet. This is the best time. We've added so much to the game in the last year. We've released how many free content patches now? It's 3 or 4, something like that. Yeah, so it's.
I think this is the 4th one.
Yeah. So we definitely encourage you guys to get friends in the game, because we have so much that's come out in this last year, and yeah, we hope to continue to support it as much as we can in the future as well. So yeah, look for that later today. And yeah, if anybody that's in chat as well, if you haven't already, there's a link in chat for the IndieDB Indie of the Year Awards. Insurgency actually won, Insurgency came in second for the Editor's Choice category for Indie of the Year in 2014, and came in second in fan votes as well. And we're pretty big fans of IndieDB. One of our guys on staff actually worked at IndieDB for a time as well, Aaron. And yeah, we'd love to get your guys' vote for Day of Infamy, because we spent a lot of time, and obviously Christian and crew have spent a lot of man hours updating the game, and we're pretty proud of everything that we've been able to do over the last year. So definitely go out there and vote.
Whoop.
But yeah, I think that's it for questions. I think I'm gonna actually go into game. So I wanna thank you, Christian, for all the hard work you put in on this update, and hopefully get some sleep over the next few days while you're trying to patch out some of the bugs and that sort of thing. But
boy,
big thanks to you for joining us today and for answering our questions.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, no worries, man. Hopefully we can get you on again soon, and hopefully talk some other new stuff we're bringing down the road. Maybe Sandstorm related, maybe Day of Infamy related. But always like hearing from you.
We'll have to see.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, cool. See ya.
Yep.
Have fun.
All right, so I think we're gonna get into some multiplayer. So I'm going to go to the server browser. Let's exit out to menu first. How is everybody in the chat doing today? Have you guys gotten to play yet? Okay, let's see. Hopefully we can find a server where they're playing Flak Tower right now. Ooh, we got in. We're Mikey. I love it. Mikey is actually one of our lead designers on Insurgency now. So he's been taking some time to make sure that that's up to snuff. He spent a whole ton of time in Day of Infamy, and obviously Insurgency has contributed a lot to the company, and we appreciate all of his knowledge about game design and that sort of thing. So he is now on the game design team. Oh, this guy's going ham through this floor. I want to get by him, but I don't want to get hit. Alright, I'm just getting knocked by. Holy crap. Whew. Oh my god. What the hell, dude? Yeah, everybody loves Mikey. We're hoping to have Mikey on more often when we get into more Sandstorm stuff, when we actually go into open beta and that sort of thing. As we've talked about previously, we are in the closed alpha period, and we're hoping to invite more people soon, at least somewhere close to the start of next year, and maybe the form will go out before then. So keep a heads up for that. Man, I am getting roasted by my own team. Alright. Damn it. Let's see. Map is definitely not beginner friendly. No, like we were talking about earlier, it takes some time to figure out the difference between the floors you're on and that sort of thing. Just because it is very circular, a lot of the floors look similar, but you can tell by the lighting, and especially if you get into like this outside area, this floor looks a lot different than the second floor, which is like green and more well lit, like that.
Let's go, baby.
All right. Try to go up here. Oh my god, he got roasted. Oh no. See, I'm getting lost. Look,
Are we
dead end.
lost? I think yes.
Dead end.
Cover my reload!
Oh no. Let's see. Streaming Insurgency is a cash cow. Yeah, it we have a lot of Insurgency fans. I think we're up over 4 million sold now for Insurgency. So there's a pretty huge install base of people that have played the game. It's actually impressive to me that we still have thousands of people playing it for a game that's been released that long ago. Whoa. Sick moves, dude.
Careful, grenade! Grenade! Don't stay there! Don't stay there! Okay. I was fine. I just stood on the other side of the pillar too.
Whoa. Okay.
Man, there's grenades in the central stair.
Wasn't Insurgency Close Alpha supposed to be this year? Yeah, I guess the hope is that that we're going to put out the call for new applicants. We're taking them in kind of waves, and this wave will be bigger than the last. We kind of picked more or people that we knew directly, but now we're going to kind of open it up a bit and have more. And eventually we'll get to the point where we can let anybody in and kind of have an open beta, but or at least that's the hope. But yeah, so inviting people early next year, but hopefully we'll have the form out before the end of the year. Jem says, put in a good word for me, Alex. I'm trying to squash some bugs. True. I'm actually have enjoyed watching Jem's stream. He plays competitively in the Insurgency Gym. For you guys that haven't experienced the Insurgency Gym, go check it out on a Saturday where you have the weekly pickup groups and that sort of thing. If somebody can post the link in the chat, that would be awesome too. But
Потому что играть пиндосы долбоебы, я вообще в шоке, как немцы проебали.
I'm not telling anybody to shut up.
Они, блядь, пушат их слева.
They're entitled to their opinion in a different language. Alright, I was kind of lost. I have to get back downstairs. See, I could get stuck in this closet here. Ooh, there's a bit of light coming through there.
They blew one of the blast doors on level 0.
Oh no. I missed. Uh-oh. Is that live? Yes, it is.
Damn it! That door is terrible. Sorry.
I think we threw 3 grenades through the door, and none of them made it.
They all bounced. They all bounced back. I'm pretty sure. At least the 2 I saw.
Yep.
Yep.
Both lost in the closet this time. Yeah, anybody that wants to try competitive Insurgency, definitely get in on the Insurgency Gym. How did that hit me? I guess it blew up the floor, which blew up... Oh yeah, and a new league is coming back in January. They have their own Discord server for competitive as well. Actually, it's a team league, so I believe you have to have a team set. So if you and your friends want to get together and play some competitive DGL, pretty good opportunity.
Well, it looks like you can throw it out, but I guess you can't.
Oh, it's like a weird entity thing.
Oh my god. Death trap. Looks like we're gonna... Oh, they're on the point. Oh my god! Missed the point blank shot. It is really meat grindy compared to Brittany, just because it's so enclosed. You have to figure out the points that you're gonna push through and the ones that that you're not. Oh shit! Somebody's gotta get on that. Oh my god! I don't think people have figured out that you can't shoot through that door. Uh-oh, that's not good.
Пацаны, можешь поддержку, пожалуйста? Я со штурм неверно могу убивать. Пистолет-пулемет не заходит.
Exactly.
Ссора какая-то, да? У него пули как-то летят в стороны, я не могу попасть.
Don't go down there, you're gonna get lost.
Вроде стреляешь в цель, а как-то не туда.
Они, сука, штурмуют, блин.
They blew one of the blast doors on the generator level.
What floor? What number?
But on the opposite side of the cap.
Werfende Granate!
Sorry.
Ich muss nachladen!
Flamer on the stair. Looks like it's allied. Coming up towards that open blast door.
On my way down.
Flamer.
Scheiße!
Gotta get on that point.
Also eine Rakete!
What is this weekend? Heard something earlier in the stream. Something about DOI. It is our, we're actually gonna have a sale this weekend. So I believe it starts later today, and the game will be on for 75% off. And, my god, the spam.
On the stairs with the level.
Damn it, missed my shot.
Flamer, we got it.
Oh,
Bin ich am Nachladen! Ich muss nachladen!
How many do they have left? Yeah, there's a lot of bazookas being used in that stairwell just because they blow through those floors.
0 waves, both sides.
What? Oh, sorry, sir.
Ich lade nach.
I think they're down to 1 or 2.
Hey, ich lade nach.
When does the sale start? Later today. I have to go double
Careful
check,
with the team
but I'm
kills,
pretty sure
guys.
it's
We
after
don't-
6
we don't have
p.m.
the waves.
EST. We'll send something out on Facebook and
Nice.
Twitter later on when it starts. Yay, we won.
Jawohl.
Deutschland.
Good game. Ich hab keine Gründe.
By the way, I don't know if anybody in
Is that
chat,
why
I
the
haven't
number-
mentioned it earlier, but we did send out a new Insurgency Sandstorm video today. So you can definitely go check that out as well.
Oh, you touch my tra-la-la.
Move out. Oh, that's really not possible.
Let's share love with us.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, the reload mechanics are pretty cool. We're going to be showing that off every couple weeks, just new mechanics that are in the game. And not all of them are for all modes, like we had the sport mechanic, which isn't really in competitive, but adds something to some of our other modes. But yeah, fast reload is pretty cool and gives you kind of an option and that sort of thing.
Get back, get the fuck back.
All right. Look at all that, all the guys in that stairwell. Look at that! The other team throws some grenades down. Oh my god! Alright, I gotta get up to the second floor.
Shit, man down. Hold on.
This guy is owning it up right here. Look at this. Yeah. Alright. I need to get to the second level so I can get up the staircase.
Shit, man down.
not having a good game.
Floor 4 is clear. Push up to floor 4. Doors are open.
Throwing smoke grenade! Wait for it!
Michka is our new leader. Pray, Michka.
Charge plan!
Oh, there's my body.
Don't tell him I'm empty!
Gotcha.
Rough game.
Moving to you! Okay, going to Baker!
Okay, let's go. Oh my god. Yeah, that's game.
Look at me. Allah Akbar. Allah.
That was the best round I've
GG.
ever played.
No, it was funny. Food break. See you guys later. It is RP.
Did it fix with Brittany? Some notes of it.
Flak Tower.
Oh, look at that. Play again. Alright. The Germans.
Führungsstelle meldet, dass der Feind in diesem Gebiet steht. Sie bereiten einen Angriff auf uns vor. Bewegt euch schnell. Wir müssen unsere Verteidigungspositionen einnehmen. Ich hoffe, ihr seid alle bereit. Werfe an!
Yeah, the master is here. Let's go.
Okay.
What is love? Baby, don't hurt me.
Baby, don't hurt me.
No more. Come back. Na 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 na. Baby, come back. Sans souci, sans problème. Oh, la belle vie. Say my word, I love her. They're not coming in. Oh, la belle vie.
I've had a hard time trying to find the good spots to stop where it can't be seen. Should be only 3 entrances to get to that point. Parachute deployment? I don't think so, dude. Oh my god. Okay, I gotta change my settings.
Ich lade nach!
Good job holding them off, guys.
Wird ausgeführt!
Werfe Handgranate! Achtung! Gib mir Deckung! Ich lade nach!
Fuck.
No!
There we go.
Nice.
No thanks to me.
Deutschland!
Jawohl.
Nein, nein, nein!
Do it.
Guten Tag, meine Freunde! Deutschland!
No, you're American now. Shut up.
Was, hast du Probleme?
Kill the traitor. Kill the traitor.
No, please don't kill me.
You want to check? Oh my god. No, no. No, good job, guys. It's destructive and destructible if you start firing for Which car?
I need help! I'm all alone out here! Friendly fire! Friendly fire! Get back!
Yeah, it will take some time.
How many
I mean, I've been in some crazy stomps and some really close matches in the beta test for this, so.
Endlich haben wir mal Spaß, ganz dicke und freundschaftlich.
TNT coming.
Uh-oh, where did he drop that?
Das lodert und brennt. U steht für unfairen Kampf. N steht für nukleares Waffenarsenal.
Alright, radio with you, man.
I know what I'm trying to do. That wasn't it.
Please put more assault class in the Flak Tower map. Other classes are useless? I don't think other classes are useless.
Our president! USA #1! Hardcore Fury Trump! Viva Donald Trump! Win the wall! Win the wall! Nice! We're all dead now.
Well, that's cheating.
Let's take E.
2 pistols left. Oh man.
Oh my god, my brother. Let's take E. Oh.
That was hard.
Oh. Beautiful.
Deutschland.
The more shot in the head, 1. Shame on you. Shame on you all.
Like the flamethrower's dream.
I'm Ford. I'm Heich. I'm Pepper.
You ready to burn people?
Officer, radio here.
Hello, Daddy. Say hello to Daddy. Present through the door for you. Yeah, now. What a nice man. Nice man. There's a grenade there, Flamer. Thank you, bro. Nice job, Radio Man.
Ich werfe eine Granate!
Officer Radio Man for the win.
Left side of that door. Got him.
I saw it, I saw it. I forgot to reload, fuck.
Right side of that door. Yep, flamer.
Okay, they're all coming through that upper door.
Okay. Hallelujah. Somebody jump set.
Oh man.
Coming in the front.
Recover your man.
Our flamer. Be off there though.
Yeah. Nice one.
Hey!
Ja,
Alright,
Deutschland.
I'm gonna exit out. And we'll do some more questions and I will roll. So, I'm just gonna get my Nightbot up so we can have our little contest. If anybody wants to win a deluxe edition copy of Day of Infamy, all they have to do is say the word. We'll do the same word as last week. Flak term in the chat. So all you have to do is say flak term in the chat. Have you guys ever thought about putting out the Brazilian Expeditionary Force as a unit? We've thought about it, but units take a long time and are a ton of work, so I don't know. Not something we have prioritized right now. Say the word. Game keep crashing. Any idea how to fix it? If you do get crashes, send a support ticket to support.newworldinteractive.com. So yeah, anybody that wants to win a copy, just throw Flak Term in the chat. I'll keep on reading reading questions. New map is awesome. New map is definitely best PvP. Yeah, still working out bots. Bots find it really hard to blow open doors and that sort of thing. So and of course these in tight enclosed spaces. So we'll continue working on the bugs on that, especially in co-op. I'm gonna give you guys a last chance to win. In the meantime, I should bring up the browser because I wanted to go back, and for those that you guys who didn't see it, I wanted to play the other video that we released today, which is on the Insurgency Sandstorm reload mechanics. So let's check that out.
I'm reloading! Give me a sec, loading! Loading, loading! Loading, loading! Oh! I'm reloading!
Yeah, it's pretty cool. We're going to be showing off these videos every couple weeks or so, just showing off new features all the time. So hopefully you guys get to see a lot more of Sandstorm in the future. But yeah, it's kind of cool that you get these reload mechanics where you can actually sacrifice something to do a faster reload. It's not just a skill thing. Yeah, well, it's a skill thing, and you have to choose when you're going to use it versus when you're not, whether you're going to waste some ammo to reload faster and that sort of thing. What is the approximate month launch for Sandstorm? Undetermined yet, but we're hoping to have more players in the closed alpha within the next month or so. I am going to roll for the Day of Infamy key. Congratulations to Balthier999. I will message you right after the stream. But yeah, I'll take any more questions if you guys have it before we sign off for the day. I want you guys to stay tuned though, because we will have a lot of affiliates over the weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, streaming our game and producing videos. So we'll send out links to that on Facebook and Twitter when they're about to stream or when they're streaming, and feature them in game. We got a pretty huge community of people that stream our game, and we want to support our streamers, so we'll continue to feature them. I know one of them has been watching us today. The 1647, who streams our game pretty much daily in co-op, so hopefully it's not getting affected too much by the Flak Tower bot bugs, but yeah, look out for that stuff, and of course look out for the sale later this week. We'll have Day of Infamy on for 75% off, so around $5 US. We've never had it that low, and I don't think we plan to have it that low again in the near future. So this is going to be the lowest price you're going to get Day of Infamy for quite a bit, I think. How are we going to include people in the closed alpha? We're going to have a form out there to submit your system, who you are, how long you've played the game. You include your Steam link so we can go check this stuff. And we'll invite people based on need. We've only had, I don't know, like a few dozen testers up until this point. But we need more to be able to get more data so they can continue to improve the game. So send out the form, you guys submit it, we'll pick out some testers, and hopefully we'll have a next round, and maybe it'll continue to get bigger and bigger from there until we get closer to launch. Pre-ordering options. No, we're not doing pre-ordering options yet. Can't wait to get playing again once they fix the crash on launch issue. Yeah, there's if you do have issues, definitely submit them to support.newworldinteractive.com, just because we need to group these together. If there's one consistent issue and we can go through your logs, like we don't have access to your like crash logs and that sort of thing unless you do go through that form. So definitely put as much information as you can into that form, and we'll try to follow up the best we can. And of course in chat I got people, as always, like on Twitter, on Facebook, asking if they could specifically be included. I'm not going to put out any favoritism. I'm not the one picking who's going to be in and who's not. There's no amount of bribery that would make me put anybody in, because I don't have that power. So you can try all you want, but I'm not giving you anything. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoy the update. I know the team worked long and hard on it, and exciting to see people try out new things. But yeah, hopefully you guys get to try it out this weekend, and we'll talk to you guys next week. See ya.